you've actually been using the power of visualization subconsciously and without knowing it for, I can probably bet, quite a lot of the time in your life. And the things that you've achieved, things that you've wanted and you've gotten, I can guarantee that there's been a part of visualization as a part of achieving that. So I know I have many times before, unknowingly up until I learned about visualization, that I've used it in the past subconsciously. I'm a car guy. I'm into cars. I enjoy them. They're pretty cool and I love working on them. So when I first got my learners, I was driving around in my mum's Passat and my dad's little Fiesta. I was learning on them and having a good time. Kind of nerve-wracking to begin with, but eventually got it. This was between mid-COVID era. So I finished eventually, got my P's, and that's when the sort of journey with my car loving, sort of, you could call it an addiction, began. Right. I went and bought, well, when I looked at my very first car, which was a Fiesta XR4 in Australia, that's what they call it, but in the UK, other places like that, Fiesta ST150, it's a Ford, little hatchback. And unknowingly, kind of after looking at it, going home, thinking about it, the constant thinking about it in my mind, imagining me driving it around, imagining me like showing it to my friends, like the sound of the car, imagining what it would be like revving it high, stuff like that, and fixing it and making it look cool, like imagining kind of the outcome in how the car can look, get, with new wheels or new suspension and a better cosmetics or a performance upgrade like an air intake or stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a little hatchback. It was a 2-liter 4-cylinder, but it was still extremely fun for my first car. Manual and everything, sounded good and looked pretty cool. And without kind of understanding what I was doing, I was, by thinking about it so much, imagining me driving it, imagining me going into circumstances where I'm showing my friends, rocking up to their house and be like calling them down, they're coming out, oh, new car, it's sick, and imagining this sort of thing basically willed it into my life. So literally within the next couple of days, I went and bought it. And objectively, I could have gotten a much better first car, but it was fun. It was good. I restored it to a very nice point, like standard. It looked really cool. I got some nice wheels for it, as I imagined. My friends loved it, stuff like that. So everything I had visualized in my mind legitimately actually happened in real life. And after thinking back on this, it's kind of surreal to think about how your visualizations can actually form into real life circumstances and, experiences. I then went on to sell the car because eventually, you get bored of things. I slightly regret it because it was a very nice car and it was my first car, so had a lot of meaning in it. But I basically, while I was driving that car, I was thinking about, I was into like the kind of JDM scene, like, turbos and blow off noises, stuff like that. So, as a classic P player, I was imagining, I have a specific visualization that I used to do, which where my street is, there's like a little hill where I drive down my street, and I basically always imagined in my mind, instead of driving down there in a 4-cylinder, a little hatchback, I was driving down there with a cool like turbo whatever car, like a S15 or a at the time I was into the Fiesta STs and the XR5s, but at the time it was more Fiesta STs. I was scrolling on Facebook, car sales, looking at the Fiestas, and I was like, oh, I kept imagining how sick it would be, have like the little blow off noise, having the like more like surge of power from the turbo, and having the like turbo whistle out the exhaust, stuff like that. I was imagining it and how cool it would be to have. And in a couple of weeks, I went and bought one. It was like it was kind of willed into existence by some higher power. It didn't seem real. And quite literally, I was driving down my street with a cool turbo car, making turbo blow off noises and stuff. This is why I'm making this video, because the effects of visualization are real. Legitimately, if you don't use visualization to your advantage in this current day, you are quite literally losing out on so many benefits and being able to just conquer everything that you could ever imagine. Anything you want right now in this current moment, if you just really visualized it and understood what it meant to have it and feel the emotions and the surroundings, the environments, all the sensory emotions, it wills into existence, right? So here are some of the effects of visualization. So we have visualization strengthens your brain. Similar to meditation, it's you're training your brain to focus and not get distracted on other, like, mind wandering thoughts, stuff like that. So it does contribute to strengthening your brain, your willpower, stuff like that. Almost the same as meditation, right? It alone strengthens your neural pathways in the same way as real practice. So real life practice it could be sports, stuff like that. Visualizing it deeply, you could almost get the exact same neural pathway growth and advantage by really focusing on visualizing it. Positive visualizations can create a feedback loop of motivation and achievement, similar to how physical sensations can be triggered by mental thoughts. So your brain kind of doesn't specifically understand the difference between, real and imagined. Kind of here, this point here, your brain can't distinguish between real and imagined. So it influences both mind and body to react as if the experiences you're imagining are real. This comes back into this motivation. So if you imagine and visualize yourself at the gym lifting weights, you visualize yourself before even going to the gym, getting that 225 on bench, or getting that 100 kg squat, or whatever your goals are, and you imagine it, it actually gives you more motivation to then go into the gym and actually go and try and do it, because you've imagined what it would be like to get it done, how like proud of yourself and respected you would be. And you will get the same emotions and feedback and motivation from doing it in real life while actually just visualizing it in your room. And it'll give you that zest to go and actually do it. So we go into testosterone and visualization. So men who visualize dominance and aggression experience a natural testosterone boost. Your brain, again, can't distinguish between real and imagined. So this literally means that you can will into existence the emotions and the confidence that you need if you're going into social situations with, women that you potentially want to mate with, or, have as a partner, or other, develop greater friendships with other higher value men. You can visualize this in your mind before you even go on the date or on the social situation, wherever it is. You visualize your confidence, your dominance, your aggression you might have, the kind of like defensive nature, well, aggressive nature or masculine nature that you might have. You just experience and imagine it in your brain. You walking into the bar, for example, and you're confident, you feel masculine. You've got women on your left and right looking at you, and you're just walking in like a man, and they're just kind of, you can imagine anything, right? And whatever you imagine in your brain can quite literally just come true. Because what happens is your brain makes this then a goal for you to achieve, and it wills your thoughts into existence. Trust me, Short-term visualizations prepare for immediate events like social situations or competitions, enhancing performance within realistic expectations. So obviously it has to be realistic, right? So you could imagine, again, if you're at the gym, before you could be in the gym, right? And you could be on the equipment you're about to use. Just before you hit your set, you then go and visualize in your head what it would feel like to finish, whatever rep range that you think is out of your comfort zone or would be more than you did last time. So like 8 or 9 or 10. And you visualize yourself. If you have an app or something where you're writing down how many reps you did, you can literally imagine yourself finishing the last rep with intense emotions, intense like anger and intense like will to achieve it, right? And you just imagine in your head what that would feel like, the environment around you, people looking at you because you're making noises, you're grunting, you're getting that last rep into total failure, and you smell the environment, the gym sweat environment, the smell of maybe the cleaning wipes or the metal weights. You smell that sort of stuff, right? And you hear other people making noises and grunting and weights standing on the ground. And then you visualize writing down the rep range 10 for this certain weight that you haven't hit before, but you're going to hit now. And then you finally wake up or get out of your visualization and do it. And you'll be surprised if you do this for every set, you will most likely achieve high reps on every exercise if you do a really strong visualization beforehand. So I want you to try this the next time you go to the gym. Try visualizing before you do a set. Visualize yourself finishing the last rep and it being like the last rep of 10 or whatever that you've never hit before of a heavier weight that you've never done. So imagine that. Visualizing longer term goals can maintain motivation over time, influence daily actions, and persistence in achieving desired outcomes. So this literally comes back to the cars as an example for me, right? I kind of visualize a longer term goal by saying, oh, I want to get a car that has a turbo or that makes cool turbo noises. I am visualize this in my head while I'm sort of driving around my NA 4-cylinder little Fiesta hatchback. I had that for 6 months, but through that 6 months, I was constantly visualizing what it would be like to have and be driving around a faster turbo hatchback that has cool spool noises and exhaust whistle and everything you need as a as a P plater. So using these longer term goals over time, your motivation to go and achieve them. So if you don't have enough money, you go and get enough money to buy it, or you go and start looking at the cars. It just basically influences your daily actions towards that goal that you're visualizing. So that's why it's so crucial and beneficial, because if you're going into the gym and you want to actually attract a girl, you can, before you even go, imagine in your head, okay, the first girl I'm going to walk into, imagine the girl that you've seen before that you like or you have an attraction to. Imagine yourself walking in the gym, shoulders back, you're confident, you're walking in there with a purpose, a stride, and people are noticing you, they're looking at you, and you see the girl there, she turns around, looks at you, and you smile at her, you hold eye contact, you walk directly to her, and you say hi. And you work something out, or you want to go have coffee, or want to hit a gym session sometime or something like that. And you visualize that because you'll literally feel flustered and start to feel emotions, right? Because your brain can't think whether it's real or not. So you will start feeling those emotions of if you're actually about to go and approach her in real life. And you might get butterflies in your stomach, along those lines. And then what that does is it helps you become more confident and you become more prepared for the circumstance if it arises at the gym when you go today. Like if you see her, you visualized it, so now you know what to do. You're going to go in there, walk shoulders back, confident. You're going to look at her directly in the eye, hold eye contact, smile at her, and you're going to go approach her, talk to her. So that's the power of visualization, and it works. You will quite literally just go and do it. Like, you'll be way more confident to do it. Here's another step-by-step. If you need to write this down or take a screenshot or have a step-by-step guide you can write down for yourself, this is quite literally it. So there you go. You can take the screenshot. So you want to set the scene, pre-date or pre-approach. A really good way of using this as well, if you're already locked into a date and you're going out with a girl that you know you're going to talk to, you know you're going to see, you will visualize the dates and how you want it to go. You're laughing, you're cracking jokes, she's laughing, she calls you handsome and you call her pretty and stuff like that, and she's touching your arms, and you pay for a dinner and you get up and you go out of the restaurant and you're running through the shopping center laughing and stuff like that. You're imagining what the ideal date would go, how the date would go in your ideal version, and then you basically, that could be you go back to the car, or you go back to your place or her place, whatever it is, and then you go watch a movie, and then you imagine whatever else needs to happen there, right? And that will sort of quite literally will whatever you want to happen in that night into existence. So you can use this to your advantage. It is, I don't know, it's some form of magic or some weird force of nature that quite literally works, because every time I've done it, I kid you not, it's worked. Like, I somehow randomly, I was locked into this date with this girl, randomly started visualizing, going to this exact restaurant that I was thinking about, ordering the exact food, her getting whatever exact food. Like, I literally imagined what food she would order as well. And we would go drive around in the mountains, go for a nice drive, I took her to a nice spot. I literally visualized this before I even went into the date, right? I visualized taking her to this cool spot up in like the mountains area that's near where I live. And we sat there for a while, we talked a bit and got to know each other a bit more. We kind of got closer, started, getting physical contact in, and then we'd go to like a drive-through, like Macca's, grab some like hot chocolates or something like that, go sit down and just then talk in my car. And obviously I thought of extra stuff at the end of that may or may not have happened. Definitely it did happen. So it all happened according to how I visualized it before I even went on the date. And it's freakishly weird how it works. Like, really weird. Like, you'll see, like, if you try this tactic, this trick, you'll be weirded out when it actually follows through and everything happens. Like, on the date I went with her, it's literally, like, even though I had no clue what her food preferences was, the food I imagined before we went on the date and what she'd get at this restaurant, she literally got. And I don't know if it's because I subconsciously hinted it to her because I visualized it, and she's like, oh yeah, that actually is quite nice, and she actually got it. I got the same food that I was thinking of. It was weird. So yeah, use this to your advantage. It's a powerful thing. Anyway, visualize the sexual energy. Picture the way you talk, low, slow, deliberate. See her responding to your confidence, playing with her hair, leaning in. Imagine the dominant eye contact, not breaking first, not hesitating. So all the important things that need to happen in order to escalate, right? The primal sexual frame, owning the night. So imagine the escalation, how you want it to happen, you leading the conversation, you touching her, the dominance. Picture the sexual part, you leading her, different, you get to that stage, you imagine in different positions, like being just dominant and aggressive and, having fun. Her looking up at you, completely surrendered to your dominance. So imagine all these type of things, exactly how you want it to go. this literally locks in your masculine energy before you even meet her, making the odds of a good interaction extremely high. She feels this before a single word is spoken. Yeah, exactly. So the energy that you kind of give off after you visualized is literally exactly how you visualized it to go. So even if you typically as a person aren't very energetic or really dominating kind of person, you can kind of visualize yourself being that type of person, and your energy will actually change to that. Whether you like kind of notice or not, people will notice it, and you'll naturally and subconsciously start to act more like dominating and stuff like that, and more like stronger eye contacts, holding a lot longer, you're a lot more confident. Yeah, it works. Now, it's not 100% guaranteed. You need to, kind of practice it. It's a form of practice. It's a tool that you need to get used to using and understanding how it works. So, but once you understand how that works, you'll be able to shift your energy to any kind of energy. You'll be able to shift yourself, how you work as a person subconsciously, into like many different kind of energy states and kind of personalities. It's weird, but women are not wired to feel masculine energy. Women are not logical with attraction, they're emotional. Your visualization changes your body language, tone, and presence, making you instantly more attractive. Women are wired to feel masculine energy, sorry. She just feels something different about you. Women don't know why they're attracted to some men more than others. When you visualize dominance, you become dominant. They feel the sexual tension you visualized. Quite literally, they will literally feel it because you have literally visualized exactly how, the sexual kind of part of the date is going to go. So you're kind of expecting the date to go in that direction. So you're kind of giving off that energy. Now, obviously, the girl has to be kind of on that same energy. But a lot of the time, you'll turn their energy into that type of energy because you're not straight out telling her, oh, look, I want this and this to happen at the end of the night. I'm expecting you to do this for me. No, it's sort of like she kind of gets those pheromones and like that like weird energy magnetism off you, and that's how it works. It changes the energy around your date. So this is the end. I want you to use this sparingly, well, not sparingly, use it as much as you can, right? And use it to the potential that it should be used for. Obviously, you don't use it for like weird, like pedophilia and like psychopathic stuff, right? Stuff like that, right? You want to use it to your advantage in achieving your goals, like imagining yourself having a bunch of money, moving to a certain place, imagining what your future life would look like what your future wife and life would look like, and sort of the cars you'd have, like basically the entire life you'd have. I want you to just really every single day visualize everything you want to have in life for the long term, and then anything you're doing in the short term daily life, just do a quick visualization around it and it'll work. Anytime you go out anywhere, visualize yourself being more dominant, more confident, more attractive, have that energy, more eye contact, smiling, happier, those sort of things. So if you want to combine this visualization with extremely, high levels of testosterone and the advantages of having this high level of testosterone, because if you combine those two, the visualization and the high testosterone advantages for dating, it is a combination to behold. Trust me. So if you want to learn how to optimize your testosterone for dating and use that to your advantage as well, because this having higher testosterone in dating will significantly improve your dating life, even arguably more than visualization. Because let's be real, if you're a little like skinny neck nerd, right, and you're visualizing yourself being like a strong, like dominating man, the woman's gonna like, see a little like skinny nerd like kid with glasses on, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I don't know, right? But if you have high testosterone, you've built yourself. You look like a man, right? And you pair this with being confident, being dominant, all those characteristics. That's when everything just unlocks, and you can quite literally attract and magnetize everything into your life. So go join my community, The Masculine Edge. Top link in the description right here. That's the logo. I'll see you in the next video.